We are in front of the Israeli School, Universal Practical Knowledge, the Philadelphia Division, here at 3226 Cheltenham Avenue in Philadelphia. We're standing in front of the school right now, getting a description of the 12 tribe sign that's been painted by one of the brothers that was in the school: Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, Isupk. Those are the 12 tribes of Israel.
Shalom. Shalom. You've been waiting for this day, so this day has finally come. A lot of you have been wondering where this knowledge that you've been hearing is coming from, and the powerful truth that you've been hearing, how this was established. Well, we finally were able to arrange for the priests to come down from New York and spend some time with us. And I'd like to introduce them if I can. These are some great brothers. We're very glad to have them with us. We want to make them feel as warm as possible, because this is their work and the extension of their work and what they've laid down some time ago. I'd like to introduce, first of all, priest and Sixth Shield General, 4th in command in the nation of Israel, Lahab. I'd like to salute this brother, Majah. Barak. Yeshabiam, which means sit. And I'm going to turn it over now to Priest General Lahab.
Good morning, brother. I'd like to say this, starting off, we're very impressed at your school here, and we're very impressed to see that the brothers and sisters in Philadelphia think enough of the Most High and the Bible and the truth and your nationality to be a part of this, because most of the brothers and sisters are running from the truth.
You mean everything you need, because I know you mean everything to Christ, and Christ means everything to me.
I called on the Lord. I said, "Man, Father, this is real. Will you watch over them? Will you raise them up to be strong? I'm just a man with flesh. This is what you called for in your scriptures. You said they wore studs and fringes, they got it on. You said they will follow the law, they doing it. You said under your house shine, they ought to love one another, and they doing it.
Shalom, Israel. It's time to come get your full dose of truth for the week.
You got Mondays, history class, taught by Officer 500 Shariwan and Officer 500 Ahabawan. 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesday, you got Word to the Unwise podcast from 6 to 7 p.m. Followed by the main event, Captain and Priest Hadarya teaching scripture breakdown, the Bible like you never heard it before. 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Wednesday, we got Priest and Officer 1000 Awaja teaching you all about the law. Tune in. 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thursday, you got myself, Priest and Officer 5000 Kazak Moth, joined by Priest and Officer 500 Barak Yah, Brotherhood class from 5 to 7 p.m. Friday, learn to speak in the Holy Tongue, the Lashawan Kodash class, taught by Officer of 1000, Qatar. 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Shalom. This is to all Israelite groups and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs. No matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple and white, all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, a.k.a. Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God, that's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man, if you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're One West. They're One West. They're One West. They're
All right, mic check. Oh, it sounds like we good. PM sound like I'm being projected. Shalom, Yabashim Yahushua Barakatah to the Akim. Shalom, Yahweh Shemara Thumbashim Yahushua to the sisters. All right, this is the Wednesday night law class for the Detroit zone and for the Ohio zone. Tonight, I'm holding it down for Officer of 1000, Owadia for the Detroit zone. All right. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We've been teaching this truth since 1969 under Commandant Juriana, all right? Two things you might have noticed if you've been rocking it out with me every Wednesday for the past few years. One, my nigga GP, my right-hand man GP ain't here tonight, man. Shout out to that brother. We holding it down, you know what I'm saying, with the sword reading. He ain't here tonight, all right? He is being held captive. That brother is still in high school, all right, but he finna graduate. Shout out to that brother, man. In honor of that nigga, look what I got right here. 2 cups. 2 cups like I'm GP. So that's the first thing. And the second thing tonight, again, I'm in the school because I'm holding it down for Officer of 1000, Owadia. Shout out to that huge priest and prophet in this school doing heavy things, holding it down in the food department, the food drive department, been holding it down, rocking it out for some years. It is a heavy hitter, and not just the Detroit zone, but all, you know what I'm saying, throughout this school, man. We got some brothers and sisters in this school that do not play when it comes to the Most High, do not play when it comes to Christ, man. And that's what you need. Do not play when it comes to their people, man. That's what you need. When we coming up out of this captivity known as America, we still in it. You understand? Don't think for a second that you're not still a slave in this place just because you could buy a car, just because you could buy a house. Because how do you get the money to buy that house, to buy that car? You got to slave for it. You understand? And please don't get locked up because you'll literally be a slave. You understand? This place is hell, and I'm so glad it's wars going on right now because the prophecies in the Bible tell you these wars is a sign that Christ is coming, man, sooner than you realize, man. So if I was you, I would put the drugs down. I would put the whores down. I would put the prostitutes down. I would stop living for my goddamn slavery and get in these classes, man. Get right with the Most High. Learn your culture. Learn where you come from. You understand? If you in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, that's what it's all about up in here. Learning where you come from. Learning your culture. Because for so long in America, they have told you that your culture is to be a gang member. That is not your culture if you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. You are so much greater than that. You understand? I go to this is a bedrock UPK scripture, man. I go to this damn near every week, but you got to. You understand? I'm gonna go to it again here tonight. We about to go in the book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 13. Before we get started, shout out to everybody online that may have put a comment in the chat. I ain't got nobody on the ones or twos tonight, so if I miss your comment, I do apologize, but I appreciate everybody online rocking it out, sharing, doing what we do. You understand? Us, the brothers and sisters in the school, we have to share these classes to wake the rest of the world up, because it's only a select few in the school right now. We got about 10% in the school. We got 90% in the world. So we definitely got to up that percentage. You understand? So every like, share, subscribe, all of that is definitely appreciated. All right, so we in the book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 13. It says, ye are the salt of the earth. We are the best thing smoking on the earth. If you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you are the best thing smoking on this earth. Everybody wants to be like you. Everybody wants to dance like you. Everybody wants to look like you. The cosmetic field is a $1 billion corporation, and all of the time, the cosmetics that's getting done is to look like you. You understand? These oppressors, they going down to Miami not to get seen, but to get put in the sun, the sunbathe, to get a tan like the light skinned and Black women. You understand? They want to be you so bad. You understand? They want big lips. They want a big nose. They want a big behind. You understand? Black men forget about it. They want the genetics of a Black man so bad. Not just downstairs. You understand? They want the full genetics of a Black man, the swag of a Black man. Not just the swag of how we move, you know what I'm saying? How we talk, how we game. They wish they could have a game a Black man does. When I see all these different stories of Black men crashing out over women, I just think, oh my God, you are so lost. You don't understand. This is not your culture, man. We ain't never been a violent nation. We've been under this goddamn oppressor for so long. Their personality traits are starting to rub off on us. You understand? And you see, we don't hold it too well, because half the time we do these dumb things, we crash out and murder a sister. They end up taking their own life as well. That's how you know this culture ain't for us. We don't receive the culture of the white man with open arms. We naturally reject it. You see Ted Bundy, how many bodies did he catch? He slept well at night. Jeffrey Dahmer, oh my God. That was a man with a functioning life. He went to the club every night, had a slavery, had all these things. You would think he's just a regular average day Joe. If you've seen him in his day-to-day life, that's because these oppressors are natural born killers. You understand? That's why when we talk about slavery, they tell you, why are you still bringing up slavery? They don't have an ounce of remorse in their heart, man. Not an ounce of it. They don't care. It's just like another day at the office for them. They could sit up and watch gore videos all day, and some of them. I was watching a video. I was watching a Catch a Predator video on YouTube last night. This nigga, Salakia for my French, but this boy, I can't even say that's French. That's in the Bible. Salakia, nigga is in the Bible. You probably didn't even know that. But yes, this Predator came clean and said he gets off to watching gore videos. If you don't know what gore videos is, it's when people is getting unalived, and it's not regular people, it's babies, infants we're talking about, man. This is a diabolical nation that needs to get put in slavery. Somebody needs to be over the white man. You understand? They are not meant to be in charge. You see the things they do when they get put in charge. They get off to watching infants get unalived. No person like that should be put in a position of authority. Jeffrey Epstein, with all the influence and power he had, he was not the richest man on earth. No, he was the most horniest man on earth. God damn. All the things he had access to government officials, and he did not use that access for what a man like a nigga in the hood would use it for. A nigga in the hood would use it to get some more cars, get some more money, get fresh, get icy. This boy used it to be a pedophile, the richest pedophile to ever walk the face of the earth. But I can't say that because everybody in that office is pedophile, so I can't even say that. But you get what I'm saying. Let's get back to the scripture. It says, "Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savior," that's why it's so important to get in class, man. To get right with the Most High, to find out where you come from, man. Because today, they tell the black man that his culture is to be a gang member. They tell the black man that his culture is to be a rapper. It's all cool and fine and dandy to rhyme some words, but don't think for a second that is all a black man can do, because we are so much more than putting words to a piece of paper, man. I pray you understand that. We are so much more than the toting Glock 30s and sagging our goddamn pants in the middle of the street and wearing the color red. Think about that. They tell the black man all he could do is wear the color red and sag his pants. And you take that, you sit on it and make it your culture, man. Like, that is diabolical work. That is absolutely diabolical work. We go to camp. Shout out to everybody that was at camp last Saturday, and all the zones we under, and all the other, you know what I'm saying, schools we got across the nation. We go to camp all throughout a city near you, and we try and give you back your culture, and you reject it. You say you don't got time to read that. Good night. You don't got time to find out where you come from. But if I ask you, what's your nationality, you look at me like I just called you a cuss word. You look at me like I just put a spell upon you. It is crazy, man. It's crazy, the delusion that we live under today, man. It says, "But if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted?" Today, since we lost our culture, we take on the culture of our oppressor. That's why you got brothers coming out saying that they attracted the little girls. They attracted the little boys. What the hell? That is it's an actual term for that. I forgot the term. But it's an actual term for when you are attracted to kids. That's an actual term, man. The fact that they got actual terms for this, shows you what type of sick, disgusting place we living in today, man. We're going to read that again. It says, but if the salt has lost its savior, wherewith shall it says, but if the salt have lost its savior, wherewith shall it be salted? Where is you going to get your flavor from? If you ain't got the Bible, if you don't have your culture, if you reject your culture, whose else's culture are you going to try and put on? You're going to put on the oppressor's culture, man. You're going to put on the white man's culture, which is to what? To murder, to do all the sexual fornication, all the spiritual fornication as well, all the pedophilia, all the raping, the robbing. That is the culture of your oppressor, and you put that on, man. When you reject your culture, that's what you naturally do. You put on the culture of everybody else's. You understand? And that's why it's so heavy to have these classes every week. And it's so heavy for you to push them out. You understand? And to send them back to your people. Because your people is lost right now. Your people is outside thinking that their culture is to be a blood. Your people is outside thinking their culture is to be a Crip. That is not your culture, man. That is not your culture. You are so greater than that. You are so greater than that, man. And the day you realize that, the day you are actually going to be something to fear and acknowledge on this earth. All right, Salaki, I'm gonna try and pull up these comments real quick on this laptop. See if I can pull them up real fast. Again, shout out to everybody online. All right, we're going to get into the topic, man. The topic of the class tonight, I don't know if you can see the title, but it is Your Oppressor. It's the title of the class tonight is Your Oppressor Uses Media Propaganda to Destroy Black People. You understand? That right there is a heavy thing to acknowledge. You understand? Because I know some Christian watching online saying, oh my God, he pouring up on the podium. You damn right. It's our culture. You understand? But back to what I was saying. Growing up, they teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. They teach the entire world, man. They teach the world to idolize these celebrities, to idolize these famous people, these actors, these actresses. You understand? They teach you to idolize these rappers, these singers. And for too long, I have noticed that our brothers are taking on the personality traits of these celebrities as if they're some type of role model, man. And that couldn't be further than the case, man. These celebrities could never be a role model, man. It could never be a role model. You got to think, why would you look to a person, you know what I'm saying, a person that got famous for rhyming words? Why would you look at that person and say, oh, he is a person I should look to for marriage advice, for dating advice, for relationship advice, for advice on how to live and navigate on this earth? Why? You wouldn't do that, would you? You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't call a doctor when you're in need of a lawyer. Would you do that? No. So why do you call a celebrity when you need dating advice? When you need counseling advice, you need marriage advice, when you need advice on how to raise your kids, you would not call a person that rhymes words for a living. But the fact that I have to break this down to people shows you that the oppressor has done his job effectively, because this is the exact system. This is the exact way he wanted it to be. He wanted everybody to look at these celebrities and idolize them as if they are somebody to be, you know what I'm saying? They are a role model, for lack of better words. They are not a role model at all. You understand? But yet and still, we got sisters looking up to Taylor Swift, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B. Oh my God. That is crazy work. We got brothers looking up to Pooh Shiesty. I know when Pooh Shiesty started wearing that Shiesty mask, that's when I noticed this, like, oh, okay, man. This is like turning into too much, man. This is turning into like cult-like behavior almost, man. Like, what the hell are we doing, man? Like, why are you wearing a Shiesty mask to the grocery store, fam? Like, what are we doing? This is too much. This is too much, man. Oh my God. It got to a point where brothers was literally walking around, going to the basketball court in a Shiesty mask. Why would you do that? You wouldn't do that for no other reason besides the fact that Pooh Shiesty did it. The celebrity that you look up to, your role model, he did it. So now you gonna do it. When King Von was when he was still alive, he had a cult-like fan base. He had brothers that you looked at high school and said, man, he wouldn't hurt a fly. You understand? He wouldn't kick, you know what I'm saying? He wouldn't kick nothing. He wouldn't do nothing to nobody ever. He the type of brother to try and shoot a gun and it fall out of his hand. He one of them. But when King Von was on the earth, he had all these young dummies going around thinking they were tough. You understand? So I ain't got nobody on the ones or twos tonight. So for time's sake, I'm not gonna pull these articles up, but I'm gonna read all these. I'm gonna read the titles of everything. So if you following along online, Salakia, you could look them up and do it that way. All right. So what I'm about to bring out tonight is probably gonna shock you, man, because this is not information that is like common knowledge, to say the least. This is not information that you hear on Fox 2 News or that you hear on the Shade Room. This is somewhat of confidential information, but it's not really confidential because we in 2026. You understand? We are living in the information age. Yeah, and still your oppressor is still going to try and hide certain things like this, to keep you in the dark, to keep you out of the loop. All right, so the first thing we got, it says, I'm trying to find the top of it, Salakia. All right, so the first thing we about to go over is the fact that the government, yes, the government, the same government that's supposed to protect and serve, right? Isn't that the government's job to oversee, protect, and serve? Yes, that government, what we about to go over right now is the government puts money into Hollywood. Ooh-wee. The government puts money into Hollywood, man. And when you understand that fact right there, it'll open your eyes and it'll make you understand why the things that get pushed in Hollywood get pushed. You understand? It's not because all the filmmakers just came up in a group chat and said they all want to push these certain trends in their movies. No. It's because the government wants them to push out these agendas. What agendas exactly am I referring to? Interracial marriage being one of the biggest ones. That is a thing that is prevalent in almost every major film today. It's prevalent in every major film. You could find, you know what I'm saying, damn near a drop of interracial marriage, or sometimes it being the main plot of the movie. That's one of the ones that's being pushed heavily. What's another one that's being pushed heavily? The alternative agenda. Again, I will say, I've said this before, I have said it again. There is no rhyme or reason. The alternative lifestyle should be pushed in Disney movies, when Disney is a company that primarily caters to the children. So why is Disney coming out saying that it's going to be some resemblance of LGBTQ plus themes in all of their upcoming movies? Why? When these are kid movies. Well, now you're starting to understand why, because the government is pushing these things. What is another thing that's prevalent? And why is it in every major black film, it is some type of violence in our movies? We are always villainized in some sort of way. We can't never get a superhero movie. We always got to be the drug dealers. We always got to be the criminals. Even when we do get a major role, we always the villain in the movie. We can't never be a superhero. Why is that? Now you're starting to see why. Because the government is behind all of these major films, man. What, you just think they blindly giving money to Hollywood? No. Just like any other relationship, you know what I'm saying? One side is giving something, and while the other side is giving something else. So while the government is giving Hollywood the money, Hollywood is pushing out the themes that the government wants them to push. All right? Don't think this is just a one-sided relationship that the government is just willy-nilly throwing our money into. Government got 100 other things they could be throwing our money into. But this is what they decide to put a good chunk of the money. It's not like it's, you know what I'm saying, a small loan, a small amount of money. This is a big, substantial number that we about to go over. All right. It says state governments have invested over 25 billion. Yes, billion with a B. It's not million. 25 billion. State governments have invested over 25 billion in Hollywood through tax credits, rebates, and incentives over the past 2 decades. Good night. That's the heavy part right there. This is just under the past 2 decades. Think about that. Think about that. 25 billion in Hollywood just under the past 2 decades. Didn't I tell you I was gonna blow y'all mind tonight, man? This is absolutely crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. And again, I'm gonna say this again. Now you starting to understand why all these themes that are prevalent amongst Hollywood movies are prevalent. Why now you starting to understand why all the major black movies. What's popping today? What's a popping show we got right now? What's the most popular show we got right now? A show every nigga. I damn near want to say everybody in this chat waiting on this show to come out. Everybody in this chat is waiting on Power, the new season of Power to come out. Everybody. You understand? That is one of the most popular shows that we have. And what is the major theme of that show? What is prevalent amongst that show? Drug dealing, gun violence, life in the hood. It's almost like they want to glorify gang violence. It's almost like they want to glorify drug dealing. But then you can't say that, right? Because Hollywood, I mean, the government's behind it. Why would the government want black people to do drugs? It's the same government, by the way, that put the drugs in black people's neighborhoods to begin with. And then they say, oh my God, the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. I mean, it is absolutely crazy. The lengths he goes to destroy and to keep black people destroyed. The lengths he goes to putting the drugs in our community. Then, after he done put the drugs in our community, now he's saying it's a war on drugs. Then, decades later, we finally done recovered from that. What are they doing now, man? They're using Hollywood to destroy us. It's getting to a point, man. That's why people, we at camp, they so quick to come up and say, the white man has changed. Because he's gotten to a point where he don't even use brute force with us no more. He don't go out and physically, even though he probably could. He probably could do that. He don't do that. He do snake-like, cunning-like things like this, man. He do backdoor tactics like this, man. Like raising your kids with TV. This is one thing that Cap brought out a couple weeks ago, man. Today, with the way society is set up, we don't even raise our kids no more. Television raises our kids. All we got time to do is to watch over them, make sure they don't do nothing crazy like putting a fork in a microwave or something like that. But we genuinely don't have time, to sit up and raise our kids. Television is raising our kids. So you want to understand why they putting $25 billion into Hollywood. That's why. So they can raise your kids. So they can mold your kids and make them essentially make them do whatever they want to do. It's like an invisible hand. It's like a puppet. But it's not a puppet that he got the hand. He controlling you with the hand. No. He got the invisible string that you don't even see. And he's manipulating and controlling you in the background. That is the evil works of this oppressor, man. That's why Christ need to crack this sky and put this devil where he belongs, at the bottom of society, man. Where we at? We got more on this. It says, let me see, Slovakia. These subsidies often cover a significant percentage of production costs, with states like New York and California actively expanding programs, sometimes exceeding hundreds of millions annually. Good night. Why are they so pressured? You know what I'm saying? To put so much money in this. Hopefully you understand a little bit more as to why they so pressured to put some money into this. It says total state investment. States have spent over $25 billion to woo Hollywood over the last 20 years. State examples. California increased its annual investment for its film and TV tax credit program to $750 million. That's California alone. That is California alone, and that says annually. $750. It's like $750 million a year coming from California just to go in Hollywood. That is absolutely crazy, man. It's like it. It's we got more on this. It says subside structure. These are usually tax credits or cash rebates. For example, Louisiana provided over 30 million in incentives for a single production, Green Lantern. For one movie, 30 million. That is these numbers, man. Now, I don't know about y'all, but these numbers is low-key pissing me off. Because imagine they put that amount of money, the money they put into Hollywood, imagine they put them into our hoods. To things that can actually benefit the community. Drug rehabilitation. Don't you have a war on drugs? Didn't you pronounce that you having a war on drugs? How about the money that you spending on Hollywood? You take that money and you spend it on actual therapy programs. And then the craziest part of them all is they cut the funding for a lot of food stamps. They cut the funding for a lot of food stamp programs and all sort of things that actually benefited the community for this. It's actually despicable when you think about it. We're going to keep going. But I'm going to keep going until I just get too fed up to read this shit. It's like it. It says governments use these incentives to promote local job creation and spending. Of course, that's what they're going to tell you. It says those studies show these programs often result in a net loss for states on a dollar-for-dollar basis. That's why I said that's what they're going to tell you. You understand it? This is to create local jobs. Nigga, please. The production in these movies, as the article said, is often result in a net loss for states. So you can't even say that it's for job creation. You can't even say it's to boost the economic structure. Some crazy nonsense. They're gonna try and make up some term to reconcile and make it seem like it makes sense. We all know the real reason they're doing this, man. It's like it. It says governments use these incentives. I already read that. Let me see. Federal involvement. While state incentives are dominant, federal spending records showed around 1.2 billion in taxpayer money spent on a video production in related categories between 2008 and 2021. Non-monetary support. The CIA, FBI, and military regularly collaborate with Hollywood, offering expertise and access to locations for productions that portray them favorably. All right, so we done covered Hollywood. All right, I think you get the point. Hollywood is, controlled by the government. I mean, it's controlled by your oppressor, man. And it don't get no much more clear cut than that. All right. All these actors that you love so much, all these actors that you idolize and you want to be like, they're controlled by the oppressor. You understand? Now, a market, that was pretty much common knowledge for the most part. All right. The oppressor, these record labels, it ain't really too much of a secret at this point in 2026 that the oppressor has a fair hand in those, I guess you could say, job markets or those areas of Hollywood. Now, an untapped field that a lot of people do not know about is the streaming world. A lot of people look at streamers and think that they are their own independent bodies. They are their own. They what are they? Self-efficient. They're their own, ecosystem. They work for themselves. All those themes. Those are the sort of things you hear when you hear the word streamer. Those are the things that come to your mind when you hear streamer. But what you finna find out is that streamers are also controlled by your oppressor. You understand? That's why Rakai, every time I go on TikTok, why do I see a clip of Rakai dressing like a little girl? That is not normal. This is not normal behavior, man. I don't know about you. I got 4 brothers. I've never walked in their room and seen them cosplaying as a little girl. Guarantee you, if you get the average boy in the hood, not gonna go in his room and see him cosplaying as a little girl, man. So don't think that this is an idea that Rakai came up with, man. He's being controlled and used as a puppet, just like these actors and these rappers, to push agendas that your oppressor wants pushed out there, man. The streaming world is just like Hollywood. Streamers are in the same rooms as these actors and these rappers. I mean, I know you've seen Plaque Max's stream. He got a different, he damn near telling you that they in the same bubble. You go on a Plaque Max stream, he in a different he with a different rapper every other, you know what I'm saying, stream. All right, so they got the access to the same, you know, rooms. And guess what? They're being controlled the same way. All right. Let me see. I think I lost that article, Slocky. All right, I got it back up, Slocky. It says, what is the percentage of mainstream streamers that have signed to talent agencies? It says, based on 2026 data, approximately 70% of creators with over 50,000 followers, a common threshold for mainstream or professional status, use some form of talent representation, such as a talent agency or management company. All right. So you got a talent agency. I don't know if y'all are aware of this. You got a talent agency or a management company. Essentially, it's just like a record label, man. They could tell you what to do, just like a record label. Think of a record label. A record label can stop you from putting out the genre of music that you want to put out. You seen this with NBA Youngboy. He wanted to push out 10 albums, you know what I'm saying, a year, and his record label was stopping him from doing that. They could stop you from pushing out the content you want to push out. They could stop you from pushing out the genre that you want to push out. So just like, you know, a record label stops artists from doing that, a talent agency can stop you from streaming and doing the things that you want to do. You know, talk the way you want to talk, move the way you want to move, things of that nature. All right. So that is the significance in you know, me pulling that up. All right, so I'm gonna read that again if y'all may have missed it. It said, what's the percentage of mainstream streamers that are signed to talent agencies? And it says, based on 2026 data, approximately 70% of creators with over 50,000 followers use some form of talent representation, a talent agency or a management company. That's damn near all of them. 7 out of 10. Let's put it in perspective so you can understand. All right, you on TikTok. You scroll through 10 videos, 7 out of 10. That means out of the 10 videos you done scroll through on your timeline, 7 of them come from a form of talent management, come from a talent agency. Meaning what? This is controlled content that's pushed in front of you. That's what that means. That means that this is not authentic content that is pushed in front of you 7 out of 10 times. Think about that. Think about that, man. And we got people that's their main thing they do when they bored. They scroll on TikTok. So just imagine the amount of controlled content that's getting pushed in front of a person like that. They scroll on TikTok for about 2 hours every session. So you're talking about at the minimum 200 videos they done scrolled and seen. I mean, 7 divided by 200. I mean, come on, man. You could do the math. That's that is a crazy amount of controlled content that's being pushed in front of you. Content that they want you to see, agendas that they want you to see. That is absolutely crazy, man. And they trying to tell you, they trying to revolt when we tell them that the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Devil means deceiver. He is the biggest deceiver on the face of the earth, and it's not close. It's not close at all, man. The amount of money he puts into his work, I mean, you gotta respect it in a way. That is, I mean, we read 25 billion just on actors alone. That's Hollywood. We ain't even touch on rappers tonight. We might do that next week. We ain't even touch on record labels and rappers. So just think about the amount of money they spending on these streamers, man. That is absolutely crazy. And the sad part about it is everybody looks at these streamers as if they are their own independent bodies. And that couldn't be further from the case, man. They're probably more controlled than I would say a person in Hollywood is, because a person in Hollywood, yeah, he reading the script, but you could at least separate his role in a movie from him as a person. You can't do that with a streamer. That's what makes this way worse. You looking at a streamer as if he's a real person. This is him on the daily. You sit up, you watch his streams every day. He at the crib chilling, and you thinking you getting to notice him as a person, when really you getting to know a image that the oppressor wants you to have. You know what I'm saying? Of what you would think is a role model in 2026. It is absolute craziness, man. The lengths that they go to oppress Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. The lengths they go to. So now that's just talent agencies. So now we got to tie this all together. So talent agencies, what's their relationship with the government? That's the next thing I looked up, and these are the results. It says, one, political lobbying and advocacy. Official representation. The Association of Talent Agencies, the ATA, acts as a lobbying force to represent agency business interests before federal and state governments. This is the relationship between talent agencies and the government. All right, so for anybody that don't know, lobbying is the act of attempting to influence government officials. So that could be legislators, regulatory agencies, or staff to adopt policies, regulations, or legalization favorable to a specific cause. All right, that is lobbying. So it says that's the first relationship between talent agencies and the government: political lobbying and advocacy. Already, we not starting off good. That's not good. For that to be the number one thing, God damn, that's the first thing. That's not good, man. It don't sound like a relationship that you will want. You know, you ask the question, hey man, what's the relationship between talent agencies and the government? You wouldn't want that to be the first thing you hear. Oh, nothing, just political lobbying. No, that's not good. Number two, financial contributions and political support. Again, political support from talent agencies. What does that look like? Well, a talent agency has a roster of streamers or rappers or whatever, that specific talent agency covers. You got a list of those. You got a roster full of, these streamers and artists with influence. And these talent agencies have relationships with the government, lobbying relationships at that. Guess what that means? These streamers that you look up to are getting promoted to push certain agendas. Ooh wee. That ain't too good, man. That ain't too good at all. Again, the streaming might be worse than the television, because at least a child could say that, okay, yeah, this is a TV show. So after they done watching the TV, they go on Twitch and they watch their favorite streamer. And in their mind, they think that this streamer is actually, believing the things that they're saying, that the things that they're pushing on that stream is actually what that streamer believes in. That is a scary thing, man. That is a very scary thing. It's scary because the general public does not know, about this relationship. About this relationship between the government, talent agencies. Hell, they don't even know that streamers are signed to talent agencies. So we could tell a person that a talent agency got a relationship with the government, and they're going to look at it as, so what's the significance? They don't even understand that these streamers are signed to talent agencies. They don't understand that that's where they get the real money. You understand? That's not. Let's keep going for Tom's sake, man. We ain't even get started on the scriptures, man. And we ain't even read all the articles I got, because this is only touching the first base of many when it comes to all the money your oppressor spends on pushing agendas on us. Salakia, more specifically, the media he uses to push agendas on us. It's probably gonna have to be a 2-part class, man. Maybe a 3-part class, because it's stuff that I haven't even looked into yet. I've not even looked into the rappers and the record labels yet. That might need to be a route that we cover next week, because this is crazy, man. So this is the book of Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10. All right. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. Be strong in the Lord, man. You understand? That is a very detrimental thing that we need to do, especially now, seen as we in the end times. All right. World War III. This is the time that the Bible prophesied that Christ was gonna come back. So if you was one of them brothers that was saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna wait. You wait any much longer, man, you might it's a chance you get left off them chariots, brother. All right. This is the time, man. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. It says, be strong in the Lord. Why do you need to be strong? Because it's so many areas on this earth that's not safe. You know what I'm saying? You cannot take comfort anywhere in this place. It's so many avenues they use to try and destroy us. All right. It's so many ways they can destroy us. It is very important that you stay strong. All right. Not just physically, but mentally. That's the main thing. You got to stay strong mentally. All right. Because being in the truth, let me tell you something, it could get very damning. You could feel very lonely. Imagine having family. People that you call mom, brother, sister, and they look at you weird every time you come around because you don't want to smoke weed with them. Because you don't want to get high with them. Because you don't want to slut out on your man like they did. Because you don't want to have 5 baby daddies like they did. Because you don't want to have 7 baby mamas like they did. You understand? That you don't even talk to no more. All these things, man, all these different avenues, because you different from them, because you are stronger than them. Really, that's what it is. I gotta put it just like that. Because if I put it any other way, it's gonna sound like I'm putting their lifestyle above ours, and it could never be that. You understand? If you in the truth, it's because you stronger than that brother that's in the world. You were strong enough to say that weed ain't, you know what I'm saying? I'm stronger than a plant. All right? I'm stronger than my lust. Let's keep going. It says, and in the power of his might, verse 11, put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. It said, wiles of the devil, Salakia. It says, put on the whole armor of God, not half of it, not the half you like. It says, put the whole armor of God on. You put that armor on, that's the only way you could combat what's being pushed on the earth today. The priests and prophets in this school and the sisters in this school is the only people that could come up against this foolishness that's being pushed all throughout the earth and say that is stupid and actually have a leg to stand on. All right. I've seen brothers talk about the Klay Thompson and Meg Thee Stallion situation. I looked at him and I said, damn, that is a man that is destroyed. That is a man that hates women. It's no way in hell we should be celebrating a brother not being with his wife no more. I mean, that is absolutely crazy. I see it on both sides, man. Like, everybody coming at Meg Thee Stallion and all the sisters that's rocking with her, they weird. Don't get it twisted. They're for sure weird. But everybody that's hopping on the bandwagon and saying that, oh yeah, man, Klay, respect the Klay, man. F that B. You're weird. You weird just like they're weird. It is very weird behavior to just celebrate the destruction of another black household. That's weird behavior. That's weird behavior, man. Absolutely weird behavior. And the thing is, they're only pushing the ideologies that they know about. The ideologies that get pushed in the black men community is to be a city boy, which is what? To F women and leave them. That's what's pushed in the community. F women and leave them. Get your nut off and dip off. That's what's pushed. So in their minds, Klay Thompson is a hero. Yeah, man, you ain't rocking with that. Like, no, bro, that is lame. And on the other side, Meg Thee Stallion is a bigger lame. And especially her supporters, they over here, I don't know if you've seen the podcast last night, but god damn, starting a mass cheating Like, what are we talking about here, man? Like, what are we talking about? If you're not in the Israelite school universal practical knowledge, you're not gonna have a leg to stand on. Because how do you combat that? What do you say to come up against that? If you're not in this school. All right, so it says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. Our fight that we fight up in this school is not a physical fight, man. We got fake Israelites going around saying that they about to beat up all these Edomites. Like, what are y'all talking about? That's why y'all need to be in the school. That's why you need to stop following people that wasn't strong enough. If you wasn't strong enough to follow a leader, what in the hell make you think you strong enough to be a leader? Like, that don't even make no type of sense. The reason these leaders of these fake groups ain't in the school is because we was too hardcore for them and they couldn't follow behind us. So they had to start their own fake group with sissy rules. You understand that? Let's read that again. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. This fight that we in against the oppressor is not a physical fight we in, man. This is a spiritual fight. All right? This is a spiritual fight. Day in and day out. That's why you see us going crazy at camp, these classes, TikTok, YouTube. We got to battle principalities. What is a principality? It's a way of life. You understand? We got to battle the way of life of the oppressor, because what he is doing is not living. All right? What he pushes is not living. Going out, effing a sister, and then blocking their number, it's not living, man. That is, I don't know what that is. That is weak behavior. Going out sleeping with men until you catch an STD and cry about it when you get one. Like, what did you think was going to happen? That's not living, man. But these are the principalities we got to battle. And it's not because, let me make this point very clear. It's not because our people is naturally like this. It's because we've been raised under this captivity for so long to be like this. All right? You got to understand something, man. Your oppressor has not let his foot up off our necks at all. That is why we don't know where we come from. That is why we don't have a rhyme clue of where we come from. That's why when we go to camp and tell a black man he an Israelite, they look at us like we crazy. Because that's how lost we really are, man. He has not let his foot up off our necks since we came over here. And you probably think I'm being dramatic when I say that, but that is the goddamn truth. Ever since the transatlantic slave trade, he has had his foot up on our necks, man. Like, goddamn, give us a break. He had us over here as soon as we got off the ships, put us in slavery. How long was we in slavery? Soon as we got out of slavery, he kicked us off the land. We started to find our way. Soon as we started finding our way, soon as we built up profitable neighborhoods and communities, he bombed them. It wasn't just like, they like to paint this narrative like black people, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Black people just can't get right. They can't do nothing alone. When every time we do something alone, you put us 10 steps backwards, man. Because the truth is, you are scared to death of the black man being successful. The success of the black man is the decline of the white man. And you see that in history. Every time we raise up, who was at the bottom? The white man. And he hates it. That's why he has not let his foot up off our necks. That's why right there. You want to understand why he puts billions of dollars into Hollywood? That's it right there. Because he is scared to death of the black man finding out where he comes from. He's scared. He is scared. That is the thought that keeps him up at night. You think Trump is in office shaking in his boots about Iran? Nigga, all you got to do is send a little boy over there. They're going to fold easily. It ain't hard to get access to them. All you got to do is send over some little boys just like girls, and they're going to fold. He ain't scared of the Iraqis. He's scared of black men finding out where we come from. Black women following under a righteous black man. That is, black people all under the same umbrella? Are you kidding me? That thought scares the crap out of the white man. That thought scares the crap out of this government. And he gonna do everything in his power to stop that from happening. That's why I ain't even pull this out, but we could go to this real quick as well. I gotta find this. Lucky, I was looking at this before the class even started. This is a direct quote from the FBI director at the time, J. Edgar Hoover. All right. It says, specifically in August 1967, Hoover issued a directive to FBI field officers ordering them to expose, disrupt, misdirect, discredit, or otherwise neutralize the activities of black nationalist hate-type organizations and groupings, their leadership, spokesmen, membership, and supporters, man. You the head of the FBI. You are the head of the FBI. How long has what is it, the mafia? How long has the mafia ran roughshod over America? Correct me if I'm wrong. Don't they still run roughshod over America? Correct me if I'm wrong. And yet you put your money. This is the leader of the FBI. It ain't like this is just some Smo Joe in the desk room filling out paperwork all day. This is the leader of the FBI at the time, saying their main focus was to misdirect, disrupt all black groups, nationalist groups. It says hate groups. But guess who is considered a hate group today? The Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And when have we ever did something hateful to anybody in this school? When? You ain't gonna find no scenario where we done actually committed an atrocity that you could consider hate. For crying out loud, this is damn near 100 videos of us passing out food to oppressors. But yet we are considered a hate group. So that tells you what type of groups this is really for. Again, as I just said earlier, man, they are scared to death of black people coming together, of black people being all under one authority. It says preventing a black messiah, a primary goal, according to an internal 1968 FBI memo, was to prevent the rise of a black messiah who could unify and electrify the militant black nationalist movement. And they try and tell you that the white man has changed since slavery. They trying to tell you this. I guarantee you the next time we go to camp, there is gonna be somebody that says, he not the same though, man. He's changed. He's not the same no more. Okay, man. Whatever you say, brother. Lord be with you. Hopefully the Most High opens your eyes, man. Because right now it's clear that they are closed. You are a blind man. We're going to go back to the scripture for time's sake. I just pulled that, you know what I'm saying, because it aligned with what we was talking about a moment ago. So, like, we still in the book of Ephesians. It says, I believe we stopped at verse 12. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. That's who we wrestle against, man. Against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world. Everything that is popular today is darkness. All right. The truth is a complete shadow on the earth. Ain't nowhere, you know what I'm saying? It's only just now starting to gain notoriety. Before us, it wasn't popular at all. And it still ain't popular. All right. It's not popular to call yourself an Israelite. I don't know if you know that. You go up to somebody and say, oh, yeah, man, my name is Hebrew. I got a Hebrew name, man. You tell them your name is Yashabaham, they're going to look at you like, what the hell? What? It's because what is popular today is the rulers of darkness. They rule this earth. You know what I'm saying? Everything that is popular today comes from that. It's darkness. It's evil. And hopefully you're starting to understand why that is the case. It's because of media propaganda. It's because of your oppressor. Everything that is popular today is because your oppressor wants it to be popular. All right? Against spiritual wickedness in high places. Spiritual wickedness. All right? Let's keep going. It says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. You take on the whole armor of God, you're going to be able to withstand in the evil day. And it ain't no eviler day than what it is today, man. I mean, it's absolutely craziness what we got pushed on the earth today. All right, it seems like every other week is some predator with some type of notoriety getting exposed for being such as a predator. All right. And it's so sad to see our people fall under this trap. It's so sad to see that, man, because again, this is not our culture. But if you don't believe in God, what the hell are you going to say to somebody that you know what I'm saying, that falls in this category? If you don't believe in the Most High, if you don't believe in the Bible, how are you going to stop a person that believes it's okay to be with little girls? How are we going to tell them that that's wrong? Because everybody else is doing it, right? Because the earth pushes this. Jeffrey Epstein did it for how long? And was successful. And had all these people pull up to the Epstein Island and get busy right along with him. How you going to tell him that that's wrong? How you going to tell a person that called David their favorite rapper or singer or whatever the hell he made? I ain't listen to that nigga. How you going to tell him that it's wrong to be like him if you don't believe in God? If you don't believe in the truth? I gotta say, believe in the truth because it's Christians that believe this as well. Look at the David situation. He was texting. I mean, this is absolutely crazy, but that's why we the real prophets on the earth, because we've been saying the Christian and the Catholic Church is nothing but predators and pedophiles for how many years? And they still getting exposed for this today. Messages of David got leaked the other day of him quoting Christianity quotes. I mean, saying God be with you. Like, fam, as if you are somebody to come to when it comes to that topic. Like that, the audacity. Again, that's why the scripture says put on the whole armor of God. You cannot just half-ass this. Lock you for my language, but you can't half-ass this, man. You gotta be 10 toes down. That's what it means to put on the whole armor of God. You gotta be 10 toes down for this. You gotta be willing to go broke for this, man. You understand? You gotta be able to say, you know, it is what it is. I can't do it. I would much rather be in the school than do whatever the hell y'all trying to get me to do. All right. I'm not compromising who I am in this school to be around you. You ain't nobody. All right. Let's keep going. It says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. All right, for time's sake, we're going to drop that. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse, it's like it. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 5. It says, it is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. Good night. Let's start at the top again. It says, it is better to hear the rebuke of the wise. What does it mean to rebuke something? That is strong disapproval. Rebuke. All right. That right there is strong disapproval. That is you telling somebody that, look, man, that is disgusting what you doing, man. Is you putting that blunt in your mouth and inhaling the smoke? Like, that's cool? Like, you are inhaling a fire. That is stupid. Don't do that. And then after you done kissed and sucked all on this blunt, you gonna pass it to your mans and he gonna kiss and suck on it right next to you? That is disgusting. That's strong rebuke right there. What we do in this school, that is strong rebuke. Us telling you the nasty, disgusting things that you on a day-to-day basis do and think it's okay, think it's cool, think it's something to brag about. That nigga Snoop Dogg says, smoke weed every day. Good night. And thought he was cool when he said that. Nigga, you're a hippie. You're a junkie. Is it cool to be a junkie in 2026? I need to ask y'all that. Because y'all really act like it's cool to be a hippie. It's cool to be a junkie. It's not okay, brother. You need help. You need help. You need serious help. You need counsel. You need therapy. If you wake up out of a deep slumber and the first thing you do is not brush your teeth, not take a shower, not check the weather, it's get high, you have serious mental health issues, man. Who hurt you? I'm laughing, but that is not a joke, man. That who hurt you? Okay, get help. Get therapy. We offer help. We offer therapy. We offer all that in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. All for free, by the way. Just because we love our people. If you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, call the school and get some help, man, because goddamn, You waking up and smoking weed. You waking up and the first thing you're doing is getting high, man. That is not normal behavior. All right. It don't matter how many niggas I see do it. That's never normal. Every time I tell somebody that, they say, everybody else do it. Listen, man, if everybody else becomes a pedophile, are you then going to say, you know what? I will talk to that 13-year-old girl. Is that what you going to do? Because I pray you don't. I pray that's not how you think. Because everybody else does it, you're going to do it. All right. All right. Everybody else is also gay. Are you gay now too? Half of y'all are going to say, yes, with your nasty ass. Oh, my God. It says, it is better to hear the rebuke of the wise. It's better to hear the rebuke of the wise. Look, man, it definitely ain't going to be better for your flesh. I'm going to tell you that right now. You going to hear what we got to say, and you going to feel it in your chest. Your leg going to get to shaking. Your conscience going to drop. Your continence going to drop, Salakia. You know, you going to feel a lot less confident when you hear that. But it's going to be better for you in the long run than what you're doing. It's going to be better for you in the long run. If you take what we saying, you actually apply it to your life. For example, the marriage advice that we give in school, man. We tell you that just because that brother made you mad, don't mean you could leave that brother. All right. That marriage advice, had y'all have heard it 14 niggas ago, man, you would be in a happy, healthy relationship right now. All right. So, like it says, it is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. It's better for you to hear what we got to say, hear the counsel that we give in the school, than to listen to some dumb yes man. All right. It says, then for a man to hear the song of fools. What is a song of a fool? That's dumb advice that they're going to give you. And to bring it back to what we was talking about earlier, that's listening to these goddamn celebrities. All right. You listening to Meg Thee Stallion for advice on dealing with men. Yeah, okay. See how that work out for you. But the only thing Meg Thee Stallion had going for her was the fact that she was rich. She had money. She was caked up. All right, man. Sharquisha, don't try that shit in the hood, man. It didn't end out for Meg Thee Stallion. You think it's gonna end better for you? Like, okay, Sharquisha, like, come on now. Brighten up. Brighten the hell up, bro, because you need it. Got niggas listening to Future for advice on how to be a man in a household. All right, man. Do not listen to Future. All right. It's sad that we got to have these conversations. I got to tell grown men not to take advice from celebrities. Good night. One thing. Oh, man. It's like it. It says, verse 6. For as the cracking of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of the fool. This also is vanity, the laughter of a fool, man. All y'all care about is having a good time. The consequences of your actions, ain't never a thought in your mind of that. It's always, how can I have a good time? YOLO. Things of that nature. Verse, slug it. This also is vanity. It means nothing. All right. Half the things y'all do is to please these people that don't got a lick of sense. Why is that? Why do you want to please somebody that's easily pleased? That never made sense to me. It don't take much for you to please somebody in the world. All you gotta do is give him a $10 pack of woods, and he's happy. He think you a ride or die. You ask a nigga, oh man, I ain't got no money, man. I'm really trying to get these woods, man. You give him some woods, he gonna post you and say you a ride or die for that, man. Let me tell you what a real ride or die is. A real ride or die will tell you, hey man, I ain't buying you that shit. That shit is going to kill you. That shit is killing you, man. Not only is it killing your lungs, but it's killing your mental, man, because you addicted to it. And you can't even remember the conversation we had last week. You want to know how I know you didn't remember it? Because I told you no last week. That right there is a real ride or die. He care about you enough to tell you no. A sucker and a fool, he just gonna please you. A real nigga, he gonna tell you no, give you a reason why. And it's gonna be a righteous reason. That's a real ride or die right there, man. And you ain't getting that in the world. Verse 7, it says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. Look, man, if you comfortable in this place, you ain't real smart. If you comfortable in America, if you comfortable in this captivity that we in America, you ain't real smart. You ain't smart like you think you is, man. You ain't got it all there. You ain't a wise man. You're not a man of understanding. All right. It says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. A gift destroyeth the heart. All right. The oppressor, he made weed legal, and everybody loved him for that. That gift destroyed, you know what I'm saying, our heart, man. That gift destroyed us. That gift made us think that the oppressor was somebody to love, somebody that we should appreciate. And think about the act that he did too, man. Like, you would think he did something great for us. He gave us some money. He gave us reparations. He gave you drugs that destroyed you. And I'm saying it in past tense, they're destroying us heavier now than ever. He gave you drugs that destroy us. And the only reason he even did that was so he could make money off of it. But you look at him as if he's some sort of hero, man. That's why it says a gift destroyeth the heart. All right? That's why it says that. Everybody got them PP loans when Trump was in office the first time. And all of a sudden, Trump ain't such a bad guy after all. Last time Trump was in office, he got us rich. I'm going to vote for him. And what did that do, man? It destroyed us. Look at our brothers right now. Look at our Hispanic brothers right now. Getting separated from their family, going through the same thing we went through in slavery, getting our family stripped from us. You should feel like shit if you voted for Trump. If you a black man or a Hispanic man, you should feel like shit if you voted for Trump, man. You voted for him out of pure selfishness. You voted for him because you thought he was going to give you some more money. He going to put some money in our pockets. He freed Kodak. He can't be that bad. And then what he do? He locked your stupid ass up, and he put our Hispanic brothers and sisters in captivity plants and stripped their families away from us, man. If anybody should have a symbol of remorse in their heart, it's black people, because we literally went through that not too long ago. We products of that. We half of us in Detroit come from the South, which means what? Our families, our ancestors were slaves in the South. and you sit up online and you act like you don't have an ounce of remorse for what these Hispanic brothers and sisters is going through, man. That goes to show you that we've been hanging out with the oppressor for far too long. It's destroying us. It's destroying our sense of morale. We're not even the same body of people no more. We used to be such a compassionate and remorseful nation. Now we could look at what the Hispanics are going through on TikTok and just scroll right past it and not care, not do nothing. That just don't affect you at all. You just go on about your day. All right, with that, we're going to close out right there. It's the Wednesday night law class for Northeast Ohio and Detroit. Y'all got any questions, make sure y'all tune in to the Tuesday night scripture breakdown class with Captain of 10,000 Adariala. And if y'all watching on the Detroit page, Officer of 1,000 Awadia, he will be making his return next Wednesday. All right, shalom.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're